Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. It's 1 p.m. We are sitting as council today. We do have quorum, and we are in the presence of our municipal clerk and several other staff members. Before any further, I will say to the audience, anyone viewing online, is that I am not experiencing any eyesight out of my left eye at this point in time. So if you see me hesitating or people here to bring this side of the room into my focus, that is the reason why. Thank goodness I've been told it's temporary. Land acknowledgement statement. The Township of Hamilton is situated within the traditional territory of the Mississauga, Anishinaabe, and Chippewa nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations. Our work on these lands respectively acknowledges their resilience and their long-lasting contributions to the area now known as the Township of Hamilton. I don't believe there are any additions to the agenda. So moving on, motion to confirm the agenda. Prepared motion reads, the agenda for the council meeting held on September 16, 2025 be approved. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? By Bruce, second by John. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Item 5 on our agenda. Is there any declarations of pecuniary interest today? Seeing none, that shall be recorded. Item 6. Do we have anyone wishing to, from the public, that would like to speak on our agenda items today? Moving on, thank you. Presentations and delegations. Anna Mee Tedford, Director of Business Operations for Habitat for Humanity. Condominium application fee waiver request. Please.
Your Worship, Mayor Scott Jibb and members of council, a letter was circulated in the agenda package having to do with waiving the $4,000 application fee and the $6,000 deposit fee for legal and related review to do with our condominium registration. We're asking that these fees be waived in order to maintain affordability for our housing projects, especially Baltimore, which is the 7 net zero townhome unit that's now on Henry Road 45. In order to complete the project, we'd like these fees to be waived. All families are now occupying units. There's 24 individuals who now have a hand up and now have the opportunity to grow their finances and be successful homeowners paying taxes. And so we're asking for the council to review the letter and consider waiving the fees. Is there any questions?
Any questions from council? Larry, please.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I guess there was 2 options that we were looking at. I think the county had indicated do a 50% reduction.
That's correct, yes.
We've been given the option of providing a 50% reduction, okay? At the same time, you would be paying full $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's council's decision whether we do a 100% reduction or a 50% reduction. There's 2 ways of looking at it. It's we don't want to be, but at the same time, we have to be concerned about the fees that we're giving out and giving away.
Of course.
So I guess it's up to council that whether we do a 50% or a 100% reduction. Any comments from anybody on that?
We do have, at least I have, a report from our treasurer outlining the 2 options that you just spoken of, Larry. And we could make a decision, because this is council, not committee of the whole. We could make a decision at this point in time if we so wished. However, there's not a necessarily prepared motion. So I'll go, is there any other questions? Bruce, question, please?
Have any of these fees been paid, sorry, up,
Yes.
have been paid? Okay, nice.
So would you like to make a decision now? If so, I would make a motion. If not, deferred. However, I'm sure Habitat for Humanity would like a decision sooner rather than later.
I'm at the will of the council, whatever you decide.
So would anyone like to make a motion? Larry, it seems like you're heading that way. Please.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I motion that we provide a 50% reduction. And that way, we're consistent with the approach. And thank you.
I'm, because of circumstances for myself, I'm going to defer what's in front of me to our clerk. If you would be kind enough to lay this out for us in relationship to the report that's there.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just to clarify, you're recommending waiving the 50% of the application fee, which is a waiver of $2,000, and that which is consistent with the county's approach, or you would still require Habitat to pay the full $6,000 deposit.
Very well. Clarity on the motion. Do we have a seconder to the motion? Moved by Larry, seconded by Bruce. Any follow-up questions or comments? All those in favor? Yes. Motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Okay, our next item of business is public hearings and meetings under 8.1 of our agenda. And we do have a prepared motion. The council move into a public meeting under section 34 of the Planning Act and section 357 of the Municipal Act at 1:07 p.m. on September 16, 2025. Do we have a mover and a seconder, please? By John, seconded by Larry. All those in favor? Great. Okay. 8.2. We have Mitchell with us today. Welcome, Mitchell. I know you've been with us before, but I don't know that you've been in sole position of presenting. So under 8.2, I'm sure you could provide comment or answer questions if so desired by council members, or would you like an opportunity to go through?
I think everything's presented in the package that needs to be, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I will go to our audience and ask, is there anyone here in support of this reduction? And it's in respect to A4424 County Road 45. Anyone here in support? Seeing none. Anyone here opposed? Seeing none. Anyone seeking clarification? Seeing none. By the way, at this point in time, that seeing none has a new meaning for me. So just be bold if you're here under any of those categories, please. 8.3, reduction or refund of taxes under section 357 again of the Municipal Act. And it's in respect to 7122 Sadie Drive. And I assume that you'll answer questions if the committee has any. To the audience, anyone here in support? Seeing none. Anyone here opposed? Seeing none. Anyone seeking clarification? Seeing none. Any questions from council? Seeing none, we'll move on to 8.4. Cancellation, reduction, or refund of taxes under 357 of the Municipal Act again, being 429 Hannah Road. Anyone in the audience in support? Anyone in the audience opposed? Anyone seeking clarification? Seeing none. Council members, any questions? Moving on to 8.5, which is a planning item. And our chief building official is here to provide a report for 4108 County Road 18, in part lots 15 and 16, concession 6, Cold Creek Estates. Tim, would you like to give us an overview, or would you simply like to ask your questions?
Would you like me to just answer any questions? Otherwise, I can provide an overview.
In this particular situation, I would ask you. Please.
Yes, sounds good. So it is recommended that the application ZPA 0425 to amend the zoning on parcel of land owned by Crespi Land Development Corporation, which is lots 15 and 16 and concession 6, be removing the holding provision resulting in the property being zoned urban residential first density, be approved. The subject lands have received draft approval for 14 lots. The owner has been working to address conditions of draft plan approval and is ready to finalize the subdivision and enter into a subdivision agreement. Staff have been provided the 4th engineering submission and are satisfied with the detailed design. As stated earlier, the property is located on the west side of County Road 18, just north of McBride. Through the provincial planning statement, the subject property is located in a settlement area and residential uses are permitted. There are no natural heritage features or hazard features, and there was an archaeological study. It was completed in 2006. Since that time, the requirements have changed. They were updated in 2011. So Alderville First Nation requested that the archaeological study be updated, and the applicant is aware and understands that the subdivision won't receive final approval until this issue has been resolved. With respect to sewage, water, and stormwater, hydrology and geotechnical study has been completed, and this subdivision will be on private wells and individual septic systems, and there is a stormwater management pond on the southern portion of the parcel. Oak Ridges Moraine, the subject property is located in a rural settlement area on the moraine, and the policies of Oak Ridge Moraine Conservation Plan, they do permit new lot creation in settlement areas. Northumberland County Official Plan, the draft approved subdivision is consistent with the policies contained in the Northumberland County OP. For Township of Hamilton's official plan, the draft plan approval, it predates our current township official plan. However, the proposed development was consistent with the township official plan. Zoning bylaw. The purpose of the zoning bylaw amendment is to remove the holding provision, which will facilitate the 14-lot subdivision, and the subdivision has been designed to comply with the zone requirements of urban residential first density zones. For agency circulation, there was no objection, although there were some comments from fire. The Township of Hamilton Fire Prevention Officer requested that a holding tank or pond with a capacity of 24,000 imperial gallons of water would be used for fire suppression, and having dry hydrants and fire department apparatus with year-round access to the dry hydrant hookup. This was requested. It was not included in the submission for the subdivision. Alderville First Nation, as stated earlier, requested that we have an update to the 2006 archaeological report, and this will be addressed prior to final approval. For public circulation, we did receive one phone call asking about neighboring water supplies. So the hydrogeology study, it did confirm that there is sufficient water to service the proposed development without impacting the surrounding land uses. Planning analysis, the zoning bylaw amendment will facilitate the 14-lot subdivision in the designated settlement area, and staff are satisfied with the submissions with that 4th engineering submission. The subdivision is developed again on private services, which is permitted in the township official plan. And once all of the conditions of draft plan approval have been fulfilled, the township will enter into a subdivision agreement with the developer. The subdivision agreement will outline responsibilities of the developer, include provisions for securities and the land use and release of securities, timing of assumption of municipal infrastructure, and other legal matters. There was no financial implication. There will be a new municipal road and a new stormwater management facility. Once that's assumed by the township, all costs will be part of our review and ongoing maintenance, although the costs to develop would be the responsibility of the developer. Legal, once the conditions of draft plan approval have been fulfilled, the township will enter into a subdivision agreement with the developer, and this agreement will be registered on title. So in conclusion, the application is consistent with the PPS. It complies with the growth plan and maintains both the County of Northumberland and Township OP plans. It's recommended that the proposed zoning bylaw amendment to remove the holding provision be approved.
Thank you, Tim. Turning to the audience, I believe I see the applicants here. So I'll say, is there anyone in the audience in support of this application? Please, and for the record, someone from staff, please confirm that microphone's on. Please state your name and your address.
Through you, Your Worship. My name is Diana Kay. I'm the Principal Planner and Manager of Planning Services at DM Wills. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. Also with me is Mr. Mark Spires, who's been working with the owner to clear the conditions of draft plan approval. We don't have a formal presentation. We wanted to be here to answer any questions of council. We also concur with staff's recommendation. And for information, we do have a meeting with the Bill First Nation for next week to discuss their comments. Other than that, we are here to address.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience in support of the application? Is there anyone in the audience opposed to the application? Is there anyone present seeking clarification on the application? Seeing none, I'll turn to my council members. Do we have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 8.6 on our agenda being rezoning bylaw amendment in the estate of George Hall, James Hall, and Michael Hall at 2247 Van Leuven Road, parts lot 5 and 6, concession 1. Tim, if you would, please.
Mayor Jip. So the recommendation for this is that the application ZPA 0525 to amend the zoning on a parcel of land owned by the estate of George Hall, legally described as lots 5 and 6, concession 1, be rezoned from marginal agricultural to rural residential zone in the Township of Hamilton zoning bylaw, amended, be approved. So as seen in the report, the zoning bylaw amendment is required as a condition of consent, which was approved in the Committee of Adjustment. Site characteristics and surrounding land uses. This parcel is approximately 27 hectares, which fronts on both Payne and Leuven, and is predominantly surrounded by rural lands with features and other land uses described in the report. The provincial planning statement, subject property is designated rural in the PPS, and the PPS permits appropriate residential growth. Policies relating to the protection of natural heritage resources have been supported by Oak Ridge Environmental Opinion Letter, along with rezoned environmental protection wetland areas. 0.65 hectare severed parcel is located outside of the hazard lands, and Ganaraska Conservation Authority has no objection to the application. The protection of mineral aggregate operations and MDS guidelines were also evaluated, and it was determined the severed parcel was outside of the required setbacks. The subject property was fully assessed in accordance with MCM's 2011 standards and guidelines for consultant archaeologists. No artifacts or other archaeological resources were identified, and no further assessment is required. In summary, the application is consistent with the provincial planning statement. For Oak Ridge's Marine Plan, this is outside of Oak Ridge's Marine Conservation Plan. Northumberland County official plan, the rural areas, it's designated rural areas and its appropriate development. In the township official plan, permits a number of land uses, and the lot is appropriate size and shape. An updated report resource impact review was submitted confirming the validity of the original report. A noise study was prepared due to the proximity of the 401 and recommended that noise mitigation measures of mandatory air conditioning, minimum STC ratings for the windows and exterior walls for that development on that property. The zoning bylaw, the subject property is zoned marginal ag, environmentally sensitive areas, environmentally protected wetland areas, and the severed parcel is to be rezoned from marginal ag to rural residential. That permits a minimum lot area of 4 hectares and 45 meters of frontage. Agency circulation, there were no objections from the agencies that were circulated. Alderville First Nation requested an archaeological study, which was submitted to the Ministry of Citizenship and Multiculturalism and was also sent to Alderville First Nations. Public circulation, comments throughout the process were received regarding the timing of the process, the timing and processing of this application and the absence of application guidelines on our website. Staff are currently updating these documents and confirmed with the applicant that they were satisfied with staff throughout the application and pre-application process and were aware of the timelines for the public meeting. We also received a letter in opposition, which I provided each member of council prior to the meeting. The opposition included information regarding the posted notices that was provided to the municipality after the agenda was published. Our signs were provided to the applicant. It is our sign. Constructive criticism, yes, we could improve on what we're providing the applicants, but they were posted and installed. I provided a picture from this morning as well on the property. They were posted and installed with confirmation August 22nd, 2025. But wanted to provide that opinion that came in. Planning analysis, the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is required to fulfill the condition of consent, which required the severed lot to be rezoned to rural residential. An archaeological study, noise study, and aggregate assessment have all been prepared in support of the application, and the application complies with the township official plan and policies contained in the provincial planning statement. So in conclusion, due to this, it is recommended that the application be approved.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Turning to our audience, we have anyone in support of this application? And I think that microphone is off at this moment.
It's on now.
Please. Name,
Good
address, type of thing.
afternoon, everyone. My name is Aditya Srinivas. I'm a planner at EcoView Consulting and the agent on this application. I'm representing Mr. Michael Paul, who's also with us. Address as well. So address is 757 Maryland Avenue. I think the CBO covered everything. I don't have anything else to add. In agreement with staff recommendation. I'm happy to answer any questions from the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Is this right, or do we have the gentleman's proper spelling name? We're good, I guess. Thank you. We'll go back to the audience, and then please, we may call on you to answer some questions from committee if they have any. Is there anyone else here in support of the application? You're opposed to the application? Is there anyone seeking clarification of the application? Seeing none, I'll turn to committee members. Do we have any questions for either staff or our agent planner? Just for clarity, because we have two thoughts in two different directions, postings of the signs. Have you or your client been privy to the map that we have received indicating that the two posting of the signs were very, very close together, like 30 feet apart? Have you seen that by chance? Tim, is there something that you could share with and get clarity that it was not done in this fashion? You have a copy of this as well, or I can share you mine.
Jib, that is an approximate location based on my site review this morning. One visible, the two locations made it visible depending on which way you were coming down Payne Road.
Okay. Your opinion was that it was posted adequately.
Adequately taking the constructive criticism that have a plotter, but we could probably improve the size of signs for future postings.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any further questions? Seeing none? Thank you.
Thank you.
Eight point seven on our agenda, prepared motion to go to regular council meeting. And it reads, the council rise from a public meeting under section 34 of the Planning Act, section 357 of the Municipal Act, and reconvene to a regular council meeting at 1:27 p.m. on September 16th, 2025. Over in a second. Larry, Bruce, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, planning bylaws. Crespi Land Development Corporation, being bylaw 2025-32, zoning bylaw amendment 04-25. Prepared motion reads that bylaw 2025-32, being a bylaw to amend the comprehensive zoning bylaw number 2001-58, zoning bylaw 04-25, Crespi Land Development Corporation, be given first, second, and third reading, finally passed the 16th day of September of 2025. Do I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by John, seconded by Larry. Any follow-up questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 9.2, zoning bylaw 0525, being bylaw 2025-33 in the hall name. Prepared motion reads that bylaw 2025-33, being a bylaw to amend comprehensive zoning bylaw number 2001-58 for zoning bylaw 0525, all be given first, second, and third reading and finally passed the 16th day of September of 2025. Do I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Bruce, seconded by Larry. Follow-up questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 10 on our agenda, being our council meeting minutes. Prepared motion reads that the minutes of the July 15th, 2025 regular meeting and August 20th, 2025 special council meeting be adopted. I have a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by John, seconded by Larry. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Very good. No business arising from those minutes, so we'll move on to committee reports. 12.1 is a motion that reads that the agenda items of 12.2 to 12.5 of the September 16th, 2025 council meeting agenda be received for information. Have a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Larry. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of that 12.1 motion. Carried, thank you. Okay, so it's 12.2 to 12.5. Does anyone wish to pull anything from that to it? Seeing none, we'll move on to Public Works and Infrastructure. 13.1, emergency procurement of services at the Creighton Heights Water Treatment Plant from Lotto Water Technical Services. I think we've probably all heard of this in advance, so I'll read the motion. Council receives report WTR 2025-04, emergency procurement of services at the Creighton Heights Water Treatment Plant from Lotto Water Technical Services for information. I have a mover and a seconder, please. By Larry, seconded by Joe. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. Rec and facilities, 13.1 on our agenda. Sport field upgrades. Prepared motion reads on the water. Absolutely. Yes. I'll turn that over to yourself.
Thank you, Mayor Jim and Steve Anderson. If I may ask for a recorded vote, please simply say yea or nay when I call your name. Just a minute. Councillor Butter. Councillor Davidson. My question here. And Mayor Jim.
Lay.
Thank you. Carried unanimously.
Give Trevor and I a chance to transition to the front here. Sports field upgrades. Prepared motion is that council receives report sports field upgrade parks 2025-03. I'll stop. Trevor, would you like to walk us through this? I can.
I can give you a brief overview and answer any questions if you have. This is part of the Canadian Sport Recreational Infrastructure Fund grant that we received that I brought to council a few months ago. This is kind of the first part of it, with the sport field upgrades being the replacing the curved material with a clay-based, red clay-based material. We want to single source this to Marco Clay company. They are the only provider of that. They will do the install for that price. That is they will be coming in, etching out the existing diamonds, scraping off material, placing it down, and fixing up all the transition spots. And so that's the first part of it, is the sports field upgrade, and the second part is the pathway lighting that will happen. So we're preparing the tender right now. That construction will begin in the spring. That'll be a different tender that will work for that.
Thank you, Trevor. Technically, we don't have a motion, but let's go to question. John.
Yes, Trevor, after the clay it's been laid, what's the timeline for people to play ball?
Right now, we're looking at doing it in the later part of October, at the end of the season. It's all depends on the availability of the contractor. They did have availability 2 weeks ago, but that would have impacted play, and I hadn't brought this report forward. Late October, which will put it at the end of the season. That'll let it settle for the winter and then be ready for play early May this year.
Anything with questions? Any further? Okay, finish off the motion. Council award the contractor the purchase and installation of clay fields at the Baltimore Rec Center for the amount of $125,166.60 plus HST to Marco Clay Products, and that upon approval by council, the treasurer and the CAO enter in and execute the contract documents with Marco Clay Products for the purchase and installation of clay fields for Baltimore Rec Center in accordance with the procurement policy for sole source acquisitions. Mover and a seconder. Moved by Bruce, seconded by John. Just because I should, any follow-up questions or comments? Larry?
Just one through you, Mr. Mayor. Just to clarify, because I know that people probably, we did get a grant for 150,000, which this part of the phasing in is phase one, and then the second phase is I guess the lighting and the walkways and stuff like that.
Yeah, correct. There was two parts to the grant. One was the ball field upgrades, and two was the walkway lighting and upgrades. So this is the first half of it.
Sure.
All questions or comments? Okay, we can have a motion. Move to second. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, corporate services, 357 applications. Prepared motion reads that Council of Town of Hamilton receives report T 2025-14 applications, section 357 of the Municipal Act, refund of property taxes. Council approves a write-off of property taxes for the total amount of $340.06 for 2025 tax year, which $77.96 is the municipal portion. Moving to seconder, please. Moved by John, second by Larry. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. I should have stated that was for 4424, 45. Moving on to 15.2, which is for 7122 Society Drive. Application under 357 of the Municipal Act, refund for property taxes. Prepared motion reads the Council of the Township of Hamilton receives report 2025-15 applications for section 357 of the Municipal Act for refund of property taxes. Council approves the write-off of property taxes for the total amount of $512.74 for the 2023 to 2025 tax years, of which $234.50 is the municipal portion. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Bruce, second by Larry. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 15.3, gain 357 reduction refund for 429 Hannah Road. Prepared motion reads the Council of the Township of Hamilton receives report 2025-16 applications per 357, the Municipal Act for refund of property taxes. And the council approves a write-off of property taxes, the total amount of $2,518.52 for part of 2024 and all of 2025 tax years, of which $1,127.39 is the municipal portion. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by John, seconded by Larry. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 15.4 on our agenda is our 2025 second quarter financial report. We still have Mitchell here, so let's see if we can generate some questions for him. Prepared motion reads that the council receives report 2025-13, being the 2025 second quarter financial report for period ending June 30th, 2025 for as information. Mover and a seconder. Moved by Bruce, by John. Questions or comments for Mitchell? Looks good, Mitchell. Thank you. All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. 15.5, strategic plan mid-year update. Prepared motion reads that council receives report from CAO 2025-06, strategic plan mid-year update for information. Get it on the floor. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Larry, seconded by John. Any questions, comments? Larry, please.
This looks really great, Arthur. I know it's been an arduous task to get all these things done, and it's working well. You did indicate that you're going to be moving from BetterWorks to a new software program. How is that going to differ from what you've been working with, the staff's been working with now?
Thanks, Deputy Mayor Williamson. There should be no difference as far as the work will still be occurring.
The tracking will still be occurring as far as regular one-on-one meetings, and the setup of as far as creating the 45 objectives, tracking progress. Their system is being transitioned to better work, transitioning out of this area of business into other work. We're looking at moving it into using an existing program we have through MS Teams, Microsoft Teams, and I'm working with Stanley Mitchell on designing something that will be able to work and be able to share that similarly across the departments using that platform. So the actual software will change, but the process and the updating discussions and the follow-up will not change.
Thank you very much.
Yes, can we refer it back to staff for report to council to consolidate to consolidate what I have brought forward from the Police Services Board into the existing bylaw?
Process on that, assuming that we're all in agreement.
Review, Mr. Mayor. I'd love to do that for you, Councillor Davison. If I may just clarify, the meeting before last, Lucas Kelly brought forward a report to establish the community safety zones in the area of Camborne School and Baltimore Public School. Council at that time already approved those locations. Notified, and at this time we're bringing forward the bylaw in a consolidated format that will include the speed limit reductions. So the intent here is to present the consolidated bylaw with the already established community safety zones. However, if you do wish to bring forward additional ones after this motion is passed, you could then refer the matter back to staff and the clerk staff will bring a report with some data outlining the rationale for additional community safety zones, and then additional public notice would take place and a bylaw would come forward.
The process. We have a motion on the floor. It's been moved and seconded. We could pass that motion. We'll do it right now. All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. Now, to follow up. Motion to John, the report you speak of back to staff for consideration.
To clarify, it's the request of the Northumberland OPP Detachment Board that was received in email and attached to the agenda.
Yes.
To staff to bring forward the report.
Yes, a community safety zone for the area of Bewdley Main Street consists of one park, 2 restaurants, and a liquor store. And it's quite a busy intersection. And we have discussed that during the board meeting. And it was agreed upon that we do this community safety.
John, are you willing to make that a motion that that be brought forward and sent back to staff for consideration?
Yes, that'll be my motion. Thank you.
Yeah.
Seconder to the motion? All right. Any follow-up questions or comments? Bruce? Just for the safety of information, when that staff report comes forward, could we have clarity of what the current speed limit is? I kind of have it in my head, it's 50 now. So a little clarity here for us.
Worship changes one from the other, so it's kind of one of these that's here, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's here. So
Okay. A little more information won't do anybody any harm, I'm sure. Okay, so that's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay, 15.7, municipal ice storm. Council received report 2025-18 regarding the municipal ice storm assistance program for information. When the Township of Hamilton has eligible costs directly linked to the March 2025 ice storm, and that the Council of the Township of Hamilton hereby request assistance under the ice storm assistance program, and that the treasurer be given delegated authority to verify and attest to the accuracy of the application. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Larry, seconded by Bruce. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 15.8, subdivision and condominium approvals. Planning report 2025-29, subdivision condominium. Prepared motion reads the council receives report planning 2025-29 for information, and the council, Township of Hamilton, requested council of the county of Northumberland support by resolution the request of the township and the Township of Hamilton be delegated authority for approval of plans of subdivisions and condominium. To mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Bruce, seconded by John. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. 15.9, financial policy updates. There's a number of them there that's in front of us. Appendix A through I. Prepared motion reads the council receives report 2025-19, financial policy updates for information. The council approves the following financial policy attachments as Appendix A to H. Report. Yeah. And A to I in report. The 2025-19 financial policy updates. So clarity, just because it says one thing and I read something different, the appendixes are A to I as previously listed before the motion. We have a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Larry, seconded by John. Questions or comments? Seeing none. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Nothing under emergency services. Moving on to 17 on our agenda. And it's simply a motion to receive communications. Read agenda items 17.2 to 17.6 of the September 16th council meeting agenda be received. I have a motion, please. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Larry. All those in favor? Carried. Is there anyone wishing to pull anything from 17.2 to 17.5? And it's very clearly pointed out, even on my bad side, that 17.6 is wishing to be pulled for discussion. And the motion is going to be that the council, the corporation of the Township of Hamilton enacts as follows. The October 21st, 2025 be proclaimed as the 25th annual Child Care Worker and Early Childhood Educator Appreciation Day in recognition of the education, dedication, commitment of child care workers to children, their families, and quality of life of the community. I'll ask for a move and a seconder. By Larry, seconded by Bruce. Would anyone like to comment on this? Please, Larry.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just ask staff if they were going to be placing this up on, and promote it on the website and social media. Oh, great. Thanks. Thank you.
I didn't catch that. probably would imagine it was already planned. Okay, all those in favor of the motion? Carried, thank you. Okay, bylaws. Point one, bylaw 2025, consolidated speed limits in the established community safety zones. Bylaw 2025-29 being a bylaw to consolidate speed limits, established community safety zones be given a first, second, and third reading, and finally passed 16th day of September 2025. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Bruce, seconded by John. Any follow-up questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. I don't believe we have any media with us, and I don't imagine we have anyone online. So we'll move to closed session. And I will advise we'll take a 5-minute break as we change, well, 10-minute break. I'll be right back here at 2 o'clock sharp for closed. And motion will read to enter into closed. Motion to move to a closed session to discuss matters permitted under section 239 2B, D, and F, being human resource matters and land use agreement. Personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or employees. E, labor relations or employee negotiations. F, advice that is subject to solicitor client privilege, including communications necessary for the purpose. And the motion reads, the council meeting held on September 16, 2025, moved to a closed session at 1:51 p.m. under the Municipal Act, sections 239, 2B, D, and F. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Bruce, seconded by Larry. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Okay, thank you. So take a few-minute break and be back here at 2 o'clock sharp. 2025 be authorized and its execution be given first, second, and third reading and finally passed the 16th day of September 2025. Mover and seconder on the confirmatory bylaw, please. Bruce, seconded Larry. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Motion to adjourn. Prepared motion is that council meeting held on September 16th, 2025 be adjourned at 3:44 p.m. Moved by John, seconded by Larry. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. And we'll let Amanda close down our video, please.